Michael Jones. I've been involved with We Are Change for probably almost 3 years now. And I met Nathan Florence. I basically saw his video online when he got Nancy Pelosi calling her and asked him some tough questions, so I gave him a call. We hooked up since then. My beliefs are I'm a constitutionalist. I believe that we should go by the Constitution of the United States of America and the Declaration of Independence. And I see that's not happening, so that's why I got involved, and I'm trying to do my best to expose all the corruption in government and everything that's going on locally, nationally, and in the world.
And my name is Chris Maher. I'm a We Are Change member out of Connecticut. I met Nathan at September 11th, 2008 last year. It was a wonderful event. I particularly find 9/11 an issue of the most importance because it was a catalyst for all of the problems that we're seeing in our society today, from the wars to the economic depression to the loss of civil liberties. These were all catalyzed by 9/11. So until the fraudulent war on terror is exposed, it's going to be hard to move forward on these other issues when all the money is being spent on security, terrorism, economic depression caused by this fraudulent war on terror.
My name is Adam. I'm a regular here at We the People of RI, using up my First Amendment the way I can. This particular topic is very close to my heart, bringing out the details on this. There are a lot of people who have been fighting to get a new 9/11 investigation. And there is another class of society which laughs that off, thinks there is no need for another investigation, that the story is told itself through government and through media, when in fact it doesn't necessarily have to be a giant conspiracy in order to merit this investigation. If one politician knew, if the government failed in a certain area, if they knew there was a group of terrorists out there who could commit an act like that, isn't that enough to warrant a new investigation into 9/11?
So that's the subject we're going to cover tonight. We're going to get into 9/11 truth, what it means. And I want to remind the listening audience here that the 9/11 truth movement was begun by victims' families. Okay, this isn't a hobby for us. It comes out of love, and it comes out of respect, and it comes out of a search for justice. And we're not playing games. We really do want to find the truth, and we're not going to stop until we get a true investigation. Right now, there is a public investigation going on, which has been for nearly 8 years since the events of that day. The federal government has covered up, whitewashed, and belittled and attempted to destroy people who are actually true Americans trying to find out what happened to our country that day and its citizens. We're going to go to commercial now, but I would like to ask everybody, this is a serious topic. Just take one moment of silence real quick, just like maybe 10 seconds, just to remember that these are people's lives that were lost on that day, and to pay respects, and then we'll come back. Thank you.
The war on terror is a fraud. Expose the 9/11 cover-up. It's the only way to fix the economy and the war. I don't need a sticking bullhorn.
Yes. Yeah.
He's a great governor, miss.
Governor, sir, can we get a quick question from him? Just a quick question. Do you agree with millions of Americans that we need to end the Fed, end the Federal Reserve, audit the Fed?
That's not a quick question, guys.
Oh, well, yes or no?
They're really not.
Do you support Ron Paul's bill?
Not doing the job right now.
Do you support Ron Paul's bill to audit the Federal Reserve?
Well, I think that should be.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. I'll support you.
Thanks for sticking with us, folks. We're back with RhodeIslandChange.org. We are Change. Nate, Mike, and Chris, take it away, Nate.
All right, now we're going to get into 9/11 and what we know about it and what needs to be discovered. Okay, we're going to start. I want to try to lead this conversation in some sort of chronological order, though it's very difficult, given the subject, to keep anything too linear because the connections go everywhere. But we're going to start with some prior knowledge, some investigations that have been thwarted by the federal government, and a lead up to 9/11. So I want to start with some motive, and for that I'm going to pass to Mike and let him tell you a little bit about PNAC, Project for a New American Century, and a paper that they published, Rebuilding America's Defenses, in September 2000, 1 year prior to the tragic events of September 11, 2001.
Yes. This paper was sponsored by Cheney, Wolfowitz, Richard Pearl, all former members in the Bush administration. This was written in 2000. It was called Rebuilding America's Defenses, and in chapter 21, it talks about how they need a new Pearl Harbor to basically get their agenda, their excuse. They need a new excuse to start the war on terrorism. And that's basically what the Project for New American Century was. It goes into great, great detail. I encourage you all to look it up, Google it. Just look, punch in Project for a New American Century. You'll find out all the dastardly details of how they had all the prior knowledge, and they used 9/11 as a new Pearl Harbor. Unless you believe it was a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. Thank you.
Okay, and next we will go into the story of John O'Neill. And this story should preface just how high up the levels of corruption go. For those of you unaware of the John O'Neill story, John O'Neill in 1999 was the deputy director of the FBI. He had spent years researching Al-Qaeda and going after Al-Qaeda. Now, he kept hitting roadblocks in his investigation, went to go find information, wasn't able to retrieve it. Then when Bush came into office in 2000, there was a national security memo, WH-199-EYE, that said no one, absolutely no one, is to investigate the personal or business interests of Omar or Abdullah bin Laden, the brothers of Osama bin Laden. So when John O'Neill received this information and found out that his investigation was being roadblocked all the way up to the White House, he said, I'm not going to play this game anymore, and he resigned. He then decided to get a job in the private sector. Coincidentally enough, the former director of the FBI, who had all of the knowledge about the ongoings of Al-Qaeda, was hired as private security for the World Trade Center. Private security for Larry Silverstein, the leaseholder of the World Trade Center. And then coincidentally, once again, the first day of his job was the last day of his life. He went to work on September 11th, never to return again, and the man who held all the answers to what happened before disappeared, along with a lot of the paperwork and a lot of the information. For anyone that's interested, there is a book, a biographical book about him called The Man Who Warned America.
This concludes this program broadcast. We the People, a freedom of speech television show. Go to www.wethepeopleofri.org.